Good afternoon, Year 4. Remember, you are going to be doing PE as well this afternoon, Mr. Mitchen's daily challenges, so enjoy that. And first of all, we have history. So I'm going to share my screen with you and enlarge that, hopefully. So we're going to understand how the Anglo-Saxons have influenced British place names. But before that, a few questions for you. How did the Anglo-Saxons and Vikings get to Britain? Where do you think they settled originally? Inland? Outer land? Where did the Vikings raid originally? Or linked to that last question, can you remember any of the specific famous raids and what they took? So pause it here, see if you can just have a think about those questions. Okay, so Anglo-Saxons and Scots, their place names. We've got Wessex and we have East Anglia. Anglo-Saxon Kingdoms. The British fought hard against the Anglo-Saxons, but by about 600 AD, they had either been forced to escape or had been taken as slaves. Those who escaped retreated mainly to Wales and Cornwall, which never came under Anglo-Saxon rule. And the rest of Britain was divided into 7 kingdoms: Northumbria, Essex, Wessex, Sussex, Mercia, Kent, East Anglia. Which one do you think is which? And why do you think they split Britain into 7 kingdoms? So if you want, you can have a little prediction. You might just roughly sketch this out and draw it. It's entirely up to you. Okay, so we have Northumbria at the top there, which makes sense because if you think of our compass, north is up, East Anglia, east is right, so East Anglia, and then we have Wessex, which has got that west sort of sound in it, and it's the furthest west, and then Sussex, again, similarities with South Sussex, and then we have Essex, Kent, and Mercia. So, why do you think the Anglo-Saxons split Britain into 7 kingdoms? This is an opportunity just to write a sentence down. I think the Anglo-Saxons split Britain into 7 kingdoms because, and just as a bit of a challenge X there, why don't you pause the video? If you type in Google Earth, you can maybe explore these regions, see if you can find out what they're called now. So if you went to a map of the UK and you went over right to the east coast there, is it still East Anglia? If it is, what towns and cities do we have there? Do we still have Mercia in the centre there? Is it Northumbria? Just a little bit of research. So, kingdom names and their meanings. So these county names mainly come from the names and geographical location of the Anglo-Saxons who first settled here. So Northumbria, land of people living north of the River Humber. East Anglia comes from the fact that the Angles first settled here. Sussex, South Saxons. Wessex, West Saxons, and Essex, East Saxons. Mercia were the border people, and Kent, the Jutes who settled here, called themselves Kentings. And let's have a little look at the root meanings then. So many of the names of towns and villages in Britain also came from the Anglo-Saxons. Have you ever noticed that many names share similarities? Well, we've got a bit of a close-up here of this little visitor come to help teach you some history about the Anglo-Saxons. This is Nala that's come to join us here. So let's keep her face on the screen a bit more because hers is prettier than mine. Okay. For instance, how many place names can you think of which have the endings shown on the signposts below? Ham, Ford, or Worth. Maybe even some football teams that you might be able to think of there as well. Use your maps or atlases to make a list. So again, you could use Google Earth and explore the UK, or you may have a map or atlas at home. If you want to use that, that would be great as well. Physical resource there. What do you think these endings could mean? So pause the screen here, complete that bit of a task there, and then join us again on the next slide. Okay, so Anglo-Saxon vocabulary. These county names mainly come from the names and geographical location of the Anglo-Saxons who first settled here. So have a little look. Which one do you think is the most interesting? Can you now look at the list that you made from the information research task on the last slide? What can you tell from that piece of information? For example, we've got Ford here, so you may have found Watford on the map, and that means that it's near a river. There's a river crossing there. So that's why it has Ford as a bit of a suffix in its name. So what else can you find? And then a task here, you can, if you're on YouTube still, I can't really attach something, but you can see if you can draw a map of the UK and see if you can label a few of those places on there, or perhaps the initial map that I shared with you at the beginning. And then as a challenge X, can you write a short paragraph explaining what we can learn about each place from the place name? Those of you that are working on Microsoft Teams, I will add in this as a bit of a cheat sheet for you to help. Okay, and I'll also save a map in there that you can use as a scaffold. Have fun, enjoy PE. That's all from me and the kittens today. Have a wonderful evening.